introduction. My story tonight is true and was written by Arnold Fine. My Aunt Fay and her cat Sophie were inseparable. Now, Aunt Fay never had any children of her own, but this cat, Sophie, was like a child to her. I have to admit that Sophie was incredibly sensitive to Aunt Fay's needs. She somehow always knew when Aunt Fay wasn't feeling well, and she would get up from where she was resting and go over and cuddled up to Aunt Fay. And even at night, somehow she knew when Aunt Fay's feet were cold, and she'd jump up at the end of the bed and curl herself around Aunt Fay's feet to keep them warm. And Aunt Fay, well, sometimes, because she was hard of hearing, she couldn't hear if anybody was coming to the front door or knocking, but the cat knew, and she'd run to alert her. Good old Sophie the cat. Well, she was getting on in years, and so pretty frequently Aunt Fay would call me at the office and ask me to take both of them to the vet. Now, I really believe that Aunt Fay took better care of that cat than she did of herself, because if Aunt Fay wasn't feeling well, she'd never go to the doctor. She'd just take an aspirin. But if Sophie so much as sneezed or coughed with a hairball, we were off to the vet almost immediately. So it came as a bit of a shock to me one afternoon when Aunt Fay called me up, crying hysterically. "Sophie's dead! Oh, my little Sophie's dead!" And in between sobs, she explained, "You know, I don't sleep so well, Arnold, and the doctor gave me sleeping pills, but I didn't like the way they smelled. So he told me to put 1 drop of vanilla extract in that bottle and make them taste like candy, and that worked. Well, this morning I was in the kitchen cooking, and later when I went into the bathroom, Sophie must have accidentally knocked over my bottle of sleeping pills because I found them on the floor. She'd eaten almost every one. They must have smelled like candy to her too, and she was just lying there. And my Sophie, what can I do? We've been together for so long, 12 years. And yesterday I even bought her some special cat food for old cats who can't chew, and her teeth are starting to fall out, and it's just like mine. Do you know how much she meant to me, my Sophie?" Well, I sympathized with her, of course. "Well, now what can I do?" "Look, Aunt Fay," I said, "there's not much you can do. Take Sophie's body and put it in a paper bag and take her outside and put it in the garbage can, and the sanitation department will take her away tomorrow morning." "What?" she screamed. "What? My Sophie in the garbage? Why, she was like a child to me. 12 years. Since your uncle passed, she's been my closest friend. No, I can't put her in the garbage." "Okay," I said. "Well, I'm sorry I can't come over to your house today, Aunt Fay, and I'm working very late tonight. But if it makes you feel better, take Sophie to the vet in a cab. And you ask them to arrange to have Sophie taken over to the animal cemetery, and I will provide the money for the burial and the plot." Oh, well, will I be able to visit her from time to time?" "Yes, dear, I'll take you there anytime you want to go." Wait, how can I take Sophie to the vet? Her pet carrier fell apart years ago." "Just put Sophie in your old suitcase. That one is not too big, and Sophie will fit perfectly." "Okay, well, will there be a funeral, do you think?" "No, dear, no. But the very nice people at the pet cemetery will put Sophie in a beautiful little casket and then bury her." Oh, okay, she muttered with a broken heart. "Will it be dignified?" Yes, yes, dear, it will. And so that was it. I felt really, really badly for her, but what more could I do? At about 6 p.m. that night, Aunt Fay called me again at the office. Arnold, I have something to tell you. Strangely, I sensed excitement in her voice. What now? I asked. Did you go to the vet? I did just as you told me. I put Sophie in the old suitcase. It took about half an hour to get it down from the attic. And she fit perfectly, and I went out to the bus stop and waited for the cab to come. But as I was standing there, I thought, why should I pay all this good money just to go to the vet in a cab when I could just as easily take the bus? So I put the suitcase down beside me on the sidewalk, and I'm rummaging around in my purse looking for the exact change, when two teenage boys came up from behind me, and one threw me to the ground, and the other one grabbed the suitcase with Sophie inside and ran off. Oh no, I gasped. Aunt Fay, were you hurt? Well, no, not really. Just a few scratches, nothing serious. But I called for the police, but nobody came. Nobody. So what could I do? I just picked myself up and I thought, well, I guess this is the way my relationship with Sophie is supposed to end. So I went home. What? Wait, can you imagine the expression on those kids' faces when they opened a suitcase and found a dead cat? I was struggling to hold in my laughter. And then something very odd happened. Aunt Fay started to laugh. Yes, she was actually laughing. Wait, Arnold, that's only part of the story. Sophie came home. She wasn't actually dead. I only thought she was dead. When I found her on the bathroom floor, she wasn't moving. It took about half an hour to find the suitcase and drag it down. I put her in the suitcase, lifeless, not moving. I guess all that jostling around in the suitcase just must have finally roused her. And so, when I got home, there she was, my Sophie, sitting there patiently waiting for me to come home. And I had prayed and prayed for Sophie to enter heaven. And she came back to me. Oh, Arnold, thank you so much for all your help. Well, the next time I went to visit Aunt Fay, she had tacked up on her front door a little sign, and it read, "This is heaven." And this, my friends, is the somewhat extraordinary but absolutely true story where anything is possible.